Thursday night action in college football, UTEP and Rice. We've got Rice 3.5-point home favorites, 48 the total in this game. So Rice, we knew had been a huge point spread covering machine. Well, that came to an abrupt halt last week as they get romped by the Charlotte 49ers in the first game after they fired their head coach. And Charlotte with a 56 spot. Are you kidding me? 56-23. Talk about putting an end to this great point spread streak of the Rice Owls with authority. My goodness, 56-23. Chris Reynolds, 254 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, only 3 incomplete passes. So that tells you how bad things were for the Rice secondary in that loss against Charlotte. And now they're going to have to try to bounce back from that game against UTEP, who are off a loss themselves, 24-13 against Middle Tennessee. It's a UTEP squad that, now they got to go on the road where this season they have just the one win and point spread cover away from home. And that came against Charlotte, 41-35. But while the point spread streak ended for Rice against Charlotte, Conor Mack, the over streak kept going. And I also talked about how on Saturday's show, the Pub Hub, that I've been riding the Rice games over the total. How about dating back to last year, 9-1 to the over, 9-1 in the last 10 Rice games over the total. This year, all but one of their games have gone over the total. Rather than a side here in this game, that's what I'm going to look toward, the over here. I know it's dangerous. UTEP is a plodding offense with Hardison. They run the football a lot. They play slow. They're more of a good defense and a weak offensive type of team. But that also explains why you're getting this total in the high 40s, which for a Rice game to me is very low. I think this is an opportunity. Hardison's an experienced quarterback, okay? The Rice defense is still leaky. We saw that last week. If there's ever a time UTEP's going to have an offensive uptick and a game where maybe they explode a bit, get you to the 30s or high 20s, it's this game. It has to be against this defense. I mean, we did see UTEP explode against a bad Charlotte defense. They put 41 on the board on the road against Charlotte. We know UTEP is capable against a bad defense of putting up points. I think this is the week they do. I like the Rice offense. They've still managed to put up points with TJ McMahon. We know UTEP's defense has been solid, but not so much lately. Look at UTEP the last 3 games, or last 4 games even, 35, 41, 21, 24. They've given up 21 points or more in 4 straight games. If Rice gets to that, I think UTEP can get into the mid to high 20s. There's your over right there. So I think it gets there. Over 48 is what I like here. UTEP and Rice. Conor Mack, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you here. When I was looking at this game last night, I thought this total was a bit low. It's just how slow you mentioned UTEP is. But you got to think this team could get, 24, right? Maybe 27 at least. And if Rice gets to the 30s, there's your game. It goes over. You know what? The biggest problem is what we talked about Saturday is Rice is dog all, like I talked about. And then all of a sudden there was a massive favor, even against a shitty Charlotte team, which I did not see kicking their ass like that. I thought they covered the number, but put it over 500 yards. I think they had over 25 first downs, something like that. That Rice defense looks like Swiss cheese right now. So even UTEP should have a hard time. It's tough to trust UTEP, though, Ian, on the road this year. They just haven't been good. They've had a few good efforts at home. And they've been turning the ball over, maybe that turns in just to points. So I lean the points a little bit with UTEP. I just don't even think Rice should be laying this. And I definitely like the over here.